What is JavaScript? JavaScript is a programming language. Just like we use human languages to communicate with each other, we use programming languages to communicate with computers. JavaScript is also one of such language which is used to communicate with computer. Now, computers themselves only understand zeros and ones because they work on electronic signals. Writing directly in zeros and ones is not practical for us. That's why programming languages exist. They let us write instructions in a way we can understand, and then compilers or interpreters convert them into machine code. If we see the hierarchy here, we will write the code in programming language, then compiler will compile down the code of programming language into machine's language, which are zeros and ones, then sent to the machine for the communication. JavaScript was invented to add dynamic, interactive, and real-time features to the web pages. That's why all browsers have built-in JavaScript engines which are responsible for interpreting and executing the JavaScript code. For example, let's take a live cricket score website. Before JavaScript, the score changed. The only way to see the update was by refreshing or reloading the entire page. After JavaScript, the score would update automatically on the page without reloading. Because JavaScript can talk to the server in the background by using techniques like fetch API. The browser keeps asking the server for the latest score and updates only the part of the web page that need to change instead of reloading the whole page. After the invention of JavaScript, different browsers created their own JavaScript engines. Each engine interpreted or compiled JavaScript in a slightly different ways. This caused compatibility issues. A website working in one browser might not work the same in another. To solve this, ECMAScript was introduced by the ECMA International Company so that all browser engines follow the same specification. If you wonder what is ECMAScript, it is nothing but the set of rules or the standard used by all the browser engines so that the website can run on any browser. Now, with the modern features, JavaScript is following ECMAScript standard 6th version, which is commonly known as ES6 standard. JavaScript is an interpreted language. Now, what does that mean? To understand this, let's first know that there are mainly two types of programming languages. One is interpreted language and second one is compiled language. Now, what is interpreted language? In an interpreted language, the code you write is executed line by line. First line of the code gets converted into zeros and ones, gets executed immediately. Then the second line converted, executed. Then the third line and so on. So the program runs step by step while it is being fed. Whereas in compiled language, the entire program is first converted into zeros and ones all at once. Only after the whole code is compiled successfully, then it is executed. So, in a compiled language, if there is any error, it will be caught at compile time. The program won't run at all until the error is fixed. In an interpreted language, there is no compile step. The program starts running immediately line by line. If there is error at 10th line, lines 1 to 9 will still run successfully. The error will only show up when the program reaches the 10th line. So, if we see the advantages and disadvantages of interpreted and compiled languages, so the program can still run up to the point where the error occurs. So this is one of the advantage for interpreted language, whereas errors are caught before execution. So you know about problems early. This is the advantage of compiled language. whereas errors are only caught at runtime, not before. This is the disadvantage of interpreted language. Whereas if there is even a small error, the program won't run at all until it is fixed. This is one of the disadvantage for the compiled languages. So in short, if you see, interpreted means the code runs line by line. Errors appear during execution only. Whereas in compile, whole code checked before running. Errors appear at compile time only. Now let us see one of the example for the compiled and interpreted languages. So I opened the online JavaScript compiler. So you can see I am writing the code console.log 10 and console.log 100. So don't worry about the syntax. So we'll discuss it in the next two videos. Console.log means just printing on the screen. So if you see, I wrote three console.logs. I mean, just to print three statements. So if you see the output of the code, what 10, 100, and there is an error. So since JavaScript is an interpreted language, so first two lines gets executed successfully. Even the last line has some issue since A is not defined. It throws an error, but we can see the output of first two lines successfully, right? So this is what demonstrates about the interpreted language. So when we come to the compile language, I took C++. C++ is a compile language. So I opened the online compiler for the C++. So you can see some sample code is there. So here standard cout means it is also print in C++. Don't worry about the syntax. Just see the how compile language will work. So you can see the output we got. So it worked first. So when I add some duplicate statement to the error, it is throwing an error. So which shows uh, the whole code got compiled first. So that's why it got an error at the first only. So first statement is not got executed. While if this is in the case of interpreted, you can see the first two lines got executed, whereas in compile, no line got executed if there is some error in the code. Since at the compile time only it got caught the error. So this is a small demonstration about interpreted and compiled languages. Before going into my next statement about JavaScript, I will explain about four keywords. First one is synchronous. Synchronous means tasks are executed one after another in sequence. Second one is asynchronous. Asynchronous means tasks don't have to wait for each other. Third one is single threaded. Single threaded means only one task can be executed at a time. Fourth one is multi threaded. Multi threaded means multiple tasks can be executed in parallel. So, by default, JavaScript is a single threaded and synchronous language. So, it processes one task at a time in order. But with the help of browser features or Node.js features, JavaScript can behave asynchronously. This means if one task takes long time, JavaScript can move on and execute other tasks. When the long task finishes, it results is handled later without blocking the main thread. This makes JavaScript appear faster and allows it to handle real-time features like live updates and notifications and chat apps. Anyways, I will explain this in detail once we start with the implementation part of JavaScript, where we cover elements like variables, data types, if else conditions, loops, functions, and etc. So stay tuned if you liked the explanation. Thank you.